Welcome to today's webinar on going from Fashionista to Cashinista, the Cashinista Program. It's the money management program for women who know fashion, just like you. The Cashinista Program came about for many different reasons, but let me highlight the reasons why I'm excited about the Cashinista Program. Frankly, there's a lot of us out there, we know fashion, but boy, we just don't know money. And between you and me, I think we're all a little scared to end up broke. We don't really know where to start, but I'm here to tell you there's an easier way to master your money. And you can be a cashinista right now. So you can master your money and spend more time on what you love and less time worrying or stuck. So in today's program, I'm going to introduce you to who a cashinista is, what she is, why she came about, how she came about, where she is, when she is. And now what? Now that you know how to be a fashionista and you know how to be a cashinista, now what? So let's talk about who. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Elizabeth May. Thank you very much for watching today. You probably found this webinar off of a website I started about a year ago, gethotagain.com. Turns out I was having a really tough time in my 20s throughout the past 7 years or so, just getting on. I had another failed relationship. I was doubting myself. I was broke, unemployed, and so many other things. And I thought, I'm smart. So why do I find myself at 2 a.m., a couple glasses of Pinot in, searching Google on how to get hot again? And then it struck me. I'm not the only one. There were plenty of women in my 20s who were going through divorces or job transitions, layoffs, firings, you name it. And we're so quick to give them just this quick fix. Here's my attorney's card. You talk to them about this. All these tactics on how to get hot again. And it really came out of understanding that when I finally did feel hot again, it wasn't because I got a makeover, and it wasn't because I got a new wardrobe. It was because there were things in my life I wanted, and I actually was starting to get them. In a way that without diet, without exercise, and without a new outfit, I had people asking me, did you lose weight? Did you do something different with your hair? Are you sure? And the reason why is because when you feel hot in your own life, on your own terms, as every woman deserves to feel, whatever that means to you, it has a noticeable effect on our physical appearance. So Get Hot Again became an idea and a place and a support area where all of us women can go to celebrate being women and getting back to that hotness that we may have lost along the way. This is me back in 2007. I look really happy. I look fit, having a good time on a weeknight, partying it up with friends, dancing, enjoying life. Partying. Cute clothes. San Francisco apartment. Men. I had dates galore. Going out drinking with all my girls when I needed to. Happy hour here and there. A completely packed social calendar. And today, 2014, 7 years later, this is the same girl you saw presenting to a group of her experienced, distinguished peers in technology. So let's talk about these two pictures. What's the difference between those two pictures? Well, that first picture where I was out dancing, having a good time, I was probably doing that because I'd quit my job and had no backup plan. So I could sleep in as long as I wanted to, and I chose that. And honestly, I was keeping my social calendar full because I didn't want to answer to some bigger questions on what I was going to do next. Yep, unemployed. Not only that, before I quit, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I think I kidded myself into thinking I had 2 months of savings saved up. But what I really found out afterwards is that my net worth was negative. That means that everything I owned, all the money I'd made in my life, totaled to negative $3,000 that I owed. Not to mention my friendships, my romantic relationships. Needless to say, they were equally chaotic. So fast forward to now, starting a second business? Successful tech career. I'm making well into six figures. In fact, my net worth is also in the six figures. And I have great relationships, including a wonderful partner. He's great. All right, so what changed? Both women looked happy, right? How did I go from this girl who knew about fashion, how to look cute and get herself did up, into a cashinista? How did I get in charge of my money? How did I find work that satisfies me? Well, let me tell you what hasn't changed. What's the same between those two pictures besides that it's still the same person? I still shop till I drop when I go shopping. I love a good sale at Nordstrom. I'm also still scared about money. The same fears I had about ending up broke alone when I was in retirement all by myself eating cat food in a van down by the river. That fear is still with me. It doesn't go away. And let me tell you, I continue to make money mistakes. But what is different is limitless thinking, possibilities. I decided not to let the facts of my financial life determine the future of my financial life. So I wasn't going to be limited by the income I was making at the time or lack thereof. I wasn't going to be limited by my net worth. I wasn't going to limit my dreams because of any of these items either. And I wanted to look hot while I was doing it. I didn't want to sacrifice that. I still wanted to be healthy and fit and have time for those things. And I still wanted to enjoy looking like a feminine female the way that I wanted to express that. In a word, my closet size has gotten a lot bigger. And I suspect that you're here to become a cashinista too. I bet you're sitting there, probably in your cute Lululemon or maybe a juicy couture. Or maybe you got something kick-ass off the rack at Nordstrom Rack. Maybe you have a cute scarf on. Maybe you're sitting there and you're totally relaxed out in your comfy clothes. Either way, I know you know fashion, and I know that's why you're here. Okay, so what does that even mean, being a cashinista? Well, a cashinista, just like a fashionista knows about how to afford her clothes of her dreams, she doesn't regret her purchases or how she spends her shopping time and confidently manages her purchases. And regardless of her starting anything, she still looks good. Same thing with a cashinista. She knows how to afford her dreams. She doesn't regret her purchases or how she spends her time. She confidently manages her money, regardless of where she's starting from. It doesn't matter your income. It really doesn't matter your life situation, your family situation, your education, or those past experiences you have in your history. And you're going to look good while doing it too. These variables, it doesn't matter where you're starting. It may or may not impact how fast you can move forward towards something, but it doesn't hold you back. None of those items hold you back. Like I said, me being a fashionista and now also a cashinista, nothing really changed. But for some reason, my net worth is so in line with my self-worth finally. Some other things. Cashinistas, we know a lot. We know our dreams. We know our plans. We know how much we make. We know how much our life costs us. In a word, our net worth, we know it because it matches our self-worth. There's no mystery. I'm not nervous. My clients aren't nervous, wondering, where on earth did my paycheck go? Why is there so much month at the end of the paycheck, right? I want to tell you a story. And it starts with this image right here of $80,000. In the midst of my turmoil, I had another relationship end, not on the best terms. And I guess you can call it a rock bottom moment where I was sitting in my apartment and I was fed up. Fed up that all the experiences had led me to this position where I'm reading self-help books and I'm doubled over, crying all the time, and I'm lonely, and I have no idea, after all this chaos, where to go from here. So I was visiting with a friend while he was working from home. We ordered a pizza, we were watching movies on Netflix, I'm unemployed, and he's gainfully employed working from home, answering a few emails here and there, and we're socializing, having a great time. And I thought, this is work? And I was wondering, what I was going to do next and how I should quantify and what kind of jobs I should look for. And he said, your next job, you should be at least making 120,000. I know I'm going to be doing that, and you should too. I was like, the audacity. Where do you even come up with that? I haven't even made that much ever. It's more than double what I've made ever. But then instead of questioning it, I thought, hey, no limits. Why not? So being the typical female I am, I actually lowballed myself a little bit and said, all right, 120,000 sounds a little audacious. Who does he think he is? But I did put a whole bunch of pieces of scratch paper. So one side was already used, and I taped them on my wall, and I took a pen, and I started scribbling all over this paper that's on my wall, item after item after item, all the things that I wanted to fill my life with. And this number came up, and I could see it from my bed every morning when I woke up on my wall. $80,000, $80,000. I'd never made that much before. I was probably making half as much, and I had no clue how to get there. But every day I saw it. At the time, I might have been watching The Secret and Law of Attraction and blah, blah, blah. But I had nothing to lose. I only had things to gain. So that number became important to me. And I realized over time, the how revealed itself. And I did end up making and surpassing that amount. Wow. So I hope that story indicates about why maybe being a fashionista alone isn't enough. What being a cashinista can do for you. What can we learn about our penchant for fashion? And how can we think about our finances as effortlessly as we think about our fashion? Why? Probably because no matter how good you look, if your finances aren't in order, you're gonna feel a little stuck. You're gonna feel incredibly far away from being financially stable. If you've ever thought about your last shopping binge and then seen your credit card bill later, did it make you ill? Did you ever end up returning anything? Oh man, I remember asking myself, why don't I have more self-control? Another bar tab that I can't afford? What was I thinking? I had to admit it. I was scared of money. I mean, does my lack of budget make my butt look big? When things are just all out of whack and nothing fits? But I don't even know what budget means. What does it even mean? It sounds constricting. So that makes me confused on where to start. So I don't want to start. Oh, but I have to start. It seems so hard. I thought the money was going to be the man's job, right? Because Prince Charming's coming. That's why I look so cute, right? Or maybe I have an inheritance. My parents seem pretty okay, right? Or just win the lotto. Never bought a lotto ticket before. Maybe now's the time. But in general, no matter how good I looked, no matter how many cute outfits I had for every occasion, money-related anxiety, it was stressing me out. It was keeping me up at night. And frankly, it was taking away from my beauty sleep. Keeping me away from my beauty sleep. Talk about it. There's another reason all this is important. There's a lot of scare tactics. I mean, if I haven't heard that Social Security is not going to be around by the time I retire, and I shouldn't bank on it, I have aging parents that I may potentially have to take care of on my side, and potentially my partner's parents too. And I'm getting all worked up. What about kids? What about all these things, right? In fact, this quote that I'm mentioning here, this number one tip, it came from a blog online, Mark Manson's blog, and you can look it up. On his 30th birthday, in honor of turning 30, ending his 20s, he wrote a post. But he didn't write it from his own experience. He decided to survey all his readers over 40, in their 40s, 50s, and on up, what they would tell their 30-something-year-old self when they turned 30 and ended their 20s. Overwhelmingly, the single most common item everyone over 40 recommended to their 30-year-old self that they wish they knew was to start saving for retirement now, not later. Getting your finances in order now, not later, and starting today. Overwhelmingly, you know what was number 2? Good health. Wow. Good health came after savings? So finances and retirement, I'm here to tell you, if you haven't heard it enough, and if you aren't already scared to death are going to be the biggest stress of your life. And that's what the Cashinista program is all about. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be that way. Look at that. Palm tree, hammock. Go ahead. Take a break from all this stress. Imagine feeling relaxed, confident, and secure. Imagine feeling, in a word, free. Just let that sink in for a second. Free. All right, I want this freedom business, and I hope you do too. But how do we get there? How do you go from fashionista to cashinista? Why don't we start with what we love? In lieu of all these scare tactics and media and things we need to be doing and longer to-do lists, let's think about what we love. That feeling of freedom, that hammock, that palm tree. I love that. I want to feel that. What else about love? Oh yeah, party. Looking cute, getting it all together. Because when you look together, oftentimes we act together. Fashion. It's what we love. Let's start there. Let's think about what we love about fashion in the first place. I mean, why do we even like it? Because fashion is fun. Are you kidding me? I love going to lunch with my girlfriends, going shopping all afternoon, maybe taking cute selfies after we're trying on ridiculous outfits, or getting that perfect dress for the occasion that fits us just right. Oh, it feels good. It feels really good when we clear out our clutter in our closet and we put those nice new items in there, removing the tags, knowing that everything's dry cleaned and mended, every piece of clothing is in its right spot. It feels beautiful. Just imagine that. Imagine your ideal closet. Imagine you had all the clothes you ever could need or want for every occasion. I'm not the only one who's looked at celebrity fashion magazines when they do closet snapshots and thought, I want that too. I can't wait to get there. And I think ultimately we love fashion because we are women, and it's just a natural trait. I can't even remember not liking dressing up every day. Even though I was a tomboy growing up, I liked the overalls I was wearing, and I matched my socks to my cute little white Keds. Everything mattered, and it seemed so natural. It was effortless. I didn't have to try to love fashion. I just did. All right, so, okay, we love fashion. We brainstormed that. Well, what do we love about sports and tools? Let's talk about other things we love. All right, it's kind of a trick question here. And to those of you who do like sports and know tools very well, I'm here to tell you that the majority of us, myself included, if as a fashionista, I didn't know much about tools and I didn't know much about sports. But I'll tell you what, I know all the men in my life would be able to know when a toolbox is missing a Phillips screwdriver versus blah, 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 whatever. They know when a toolbox has the minimum amount of items needed in order to get the job done. They just know. When you have a task, they ask you, do you have a hammer? Do you have such and such? And on and on and on. Same with sports teams. Let's play a pickup game of basketball. You need 5 players on each team. How do I know that? That's about all I know. I don't know who needs to be forward, center, blah, blah, blah. But what I can tell you is I know exactly what to get when I go shopping. It's not a clue. I don't even need a list. I know exactly what I need. So why not? Why don't we know as much about building the perfect wardrobe and dressing up in the perfect outfit and knowing exactly what we need compared to a sports team or a toolbox that we would need to create for our lives? Well, I'm here to tell you that it actually doesn't matter. Some of the reasons can include our gender. We're females, so we're supposed to like fashion. Some of the reasons could be the media. Growing up, we saw women on TV who liked fashion. We saw commercials. Maybe our mom, our parents have so much to do with the way we're nurtured and grow up. Maybe we like fashion because we were those little girls in our mom's big girl pumps and oversized pearl necklaces and our little Pampers and that big floppy hat. Is that why we like fashion? Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, it's a mystery. I could spend years in therapy trying to understand why I'm so obsessed with fashion and clothes and design and making sure things look beautiful. But do I really want to care why I like that? Do I really want to know the origins of it? Probably not. It's fine to keep it as a mystery. Because the truth is, we don't need to know why we like fashion more than sports or tools or whatever it is that we love. We just do. Okay, so if we love fashion, let's talk about healthy love. I'm assuming anyone who's a fashionista actually has a healthy love with fashion. And we just know, we don't have to think about the outfit that we put together. We know exactly what we need. We know when the outfit's done. We know when it's done. That necklace, okay, now I'm ready to leave the house. We know because it feels good. There's no past regrets. We didn't leave the house thinking, oh, I needed something. No, you left the house with a jacket because it needed to protect you from the elements. And it was built on desire. There was a vision you had when you put that outfit together. There's a vision you have for your life when you put your clothes together in your closet. And it's built on desire. There's a certain feeling we want from the clothes and the way we adorn our bodies. Ugh, and is it fun? I mean, some parts of fashion are just so fun, like a swimsuit wrap or a cute camo baseball cap for when I'm going to play a sports game or watch a game. And it's mutual. My clothes aren't hurting me. I'm not hurting my clothes. And I really think that I'm projecting to the world this image that I see for myself. And people are reciprocating and treating me the way that I would expect to be treated because I'm carrying myself with that stature. I know what to wear in a business meeting and an interview, and I know what to wear on a lazy Sunday afternoon. The environment, the way people treat me, it matches, you know. And to some extent, there's united futures. Our closet represents the people we are today and the people that we'd like to be. We probably have that crazy pair of heels, because in the future we'd like to go dancing. We have those cute booty shorts because whatever, we want to have a fun night with the girls in Vegas or something. We have a more conservative dress to wear to our friend's wedding that's going to be at a church, and we have a perfect shawl to wear over our shoulders to be respectful. So the future of our wardrobe, of knowing we have everything we need, knowing exactly when and where to go to replenish new outfits when we need them, it's united. There's no mystery in our head. We know what's missing and we know what we have. Sounds like a pretty good setup, right? It sounds like a pretty healthy love. In fact, it sounds like a great way to treat our finances. Wouldn't it be great instead of that fear, doom, and gloom about ending up in a van down by the river, broke and alone when we're older? Wouldn't it be better if we chose to look at our wallets the same way we look at our wardrobes, with love? What if we fell in love with our money? How would we do that? Well, let's talk about where we would start then. How would we fall in love with our money? Again, it starts with a lot of fear. We have a lot of things we're scared about, a lot of external things, right? We're waiting for the man, the money, the kids, whatever. But let's instead start thinking about inspiration. And I know when I am looking at my wardrobe and new outfits, I love going to Pinterest. Ooh. And so for this example, I'm bringing you some beautiful photos of organized closets that represent fashion from Pinterest. This is one of my favorites. I'm hoping that rug down there is faux, but look at the way the hats are to the left by the window. I can imagine putting my shoes on while I'm seated in that beautiful antique chair and looking at my ankles while I tie the strap in the mirror and turning over to my right and picking up a hat and putting it on, standing up, looking at myself in the mirror as I walk out the door ready to face whatever the day has to show me I need to tackle. I like this. I really like the idea of that little island and the orchids. This one's great because I have a smaller closet right now, so I can really relate to this. But look how fashionable it is. Look how much room is dedicated. The same amount of room, basically, that's dedicated to all the bottoms and tops is to shoes. That is my kind of closet. Or a quarter of that being spent just for purses. Look, nothing's squished. I know where everything is. Oh man, this even has a technology component, a little MacBook Pro. Haha. I like this one because it has a chandelier in it, and that really matches my vibe. And I have boots as well, so I'm like, what am I going to do with boots and all these shoe holders? This is a perfect way to do it. All right, so now you're inspired. I'm inspired. I hope you're inspired too. But what do these pics have in common? Ah, they're beautiful. They're organized. They're full. And you know what? Everything's put away and it's in its place. I can tell the groupings. Everything's grouped by type and by color. Here are my purses. Here are my tops. Here are the orange tops, the red tops, the purple tops. I love it. Okay, we're getting inspired now. Let's talk about the Holy Grail here, shall we? Boom. Who didn't gasp when Mr. Big opened up that closet for Miss Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City, the movie? Do you remember that? Heaven on Fifth? Opening up those doors from that grungy tiny closet to this beautiful, spacious walk-in, well-lit, clear, protective doors, beautiful drawers to organize our beautiful baubles and necklaces. And you know what Miss Carrie Bradshaw thought? I'm sticking around with Mr. Big. He really loves me. But I think what she was really thinking, as we come to know, is I know exactly where I'm going to put these blue suede pumps. She already knew exactly how she was going to fill that closet. There was no question in her mind. Well, what do I do with this room in my house? Maybe I'll put a toilet in there. No, maybe I'll work from home with my desk in here. Maybe that's my dream. But ultimately, she knew exactly, she could see exactly where everything is going to go before anything had even entered that beautiful closet. All right. So what if we organized our wallets exactly like we organized our closets? What if our financials were as apparent when something was missing as our closets would be if we didn't have any shoes? Okay, now we're on to something. So I'm going to start and go into some of the details that we'll cover in the Cashinista program when you work with me, Elizabeth May, and become a Cashinista as well as your good old fashionista self. So what goes into your closet? Let's start there. You need something to cover you from the elements. You need to cover your top. You need something to cover your feet to get you from A to B. And you need something to cover your bottom. At a bare minimum, this is exactly what a wardrobe needs. If you don't have any one of these 4 items, it's incomplete. If you have 4 shirts and nothing else, it's incomplete. And you just inherently know. You know that you need to balance out a wardrobe. You know if you have 5 shirts, how many pants you're going to need. Inherently, you don't have to think about it. It's not something in your head that you're like, no, it's, actually, I need a new workout outfit. It's so inherent. So in the Cashinista program, we talk about what's going to go into your wallet, or really, how are you going to spend the funds that you have available to you today? Well, you need a place to cover you from the elements. You need an item of transportation to get you from point A to point B. You need to spend money on keeping yourself fed at a bare minimum. And you need a budget for what you're going to do with extras. The Cashinista program. The main tenet of the Cashinista program is that every dollar that you make, every cent that you've earned, you may be a temporary owner of it, but ultimately it's all already spent. Let me talk about what I mean and give you a little highlights of what a Cashinista knows about the fact that the money she earns is all already spent. How would it feel to know where your money is being spent? A Cashinista actually does know. She doesn't feel guilt. She knows exactly where she spent it last month, and it doesn't cause her any distress. Because she knows that it's all already spent money. It's just where it's being spent that's important. Even the money she's saving, because, hey, a Cashinista knows how to save pretty effortlessly. She's saving for a house down payment, and she knows that that money is going to be spent on a house. So it may be called a savings account, but ultimately, that's her future house. It's spent on that. In her head, it's not to be spent any other way. It's for her house. The same with an emergency fund and a retirement account. It's already spent money. It's not something she can pull to use today. Because she values those things. She values looking hot, looking cute, and looking appropriate. But she also values that she wants a place to cover her from the elements. She wants to know what to do with some extra budget in case an emergency comes up. And she wants to have a really comfortable retirement, but because she understands that she doesn't want to be doing the same thing for the next 40 years and be tied to a job if she doesn't have to. Those are her values. So let me ask you, fashionista, do your spendings match your values? There's no reason to put off getting started now. Be like hundreds of other women who've benefited from the Cashinista program. They're fashionable and cash savvy. Huh. All right. Let's do this. Because a balanced wallet can be as easy as a balanced wardrobe. And she also knows how to make more money. The reason why this matters is because why do we think a man's going to save us? Why do we think men know more about money? Is it because they just know and it's been ingrained to them? Or maybe it's a game to them, just like creating a sports team is. That fantasy football league, they know how to win it. They know what's missing. Just like maybe we should really prize and be proud of our ability to create the perfect outfit. Why is designer jeans keeping us from the wealth that we want? Why don't we use our love of fashion and our ability to recognize when a wardrobe isn't balanced and recognize when our financial house needs a little tweaking? So come on, let's be a cashinista already. So, what's your ideal closet? Are you a t-shirt and jeans gal? Designer diva? Come join me. Join the Cashinista program. Let's build out your dream closet, and your dream life. Let's develop the plan to get you there, starting from where you are right now. Judgment free. I don't care. No one cares if you have debt or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you recognize that you have too many shirts right now and you need a jacket. Or maybe you're spending too much on coats and don't have enough shoes. The same is true in life. Maybe you're spending a lot on transportation where you could be spending more on eating healthy foods or vice versa. It's all choices. It's all already spent money. So come on. Let's go from solo to Manolo, and let's go from fashionista to cashinista. When? This is the time in the program that I'm going to ask. When are you going to become a cashinista? Right now. Join me. Let's become cashinistas together. Let's use our love of fashion and make money easy on ourselves. Okay, so now what? Yeah, I'm in. I want to know how I can get started. Well, the next steps are simple. I want to hear from you. There's a link below for a questionnaire. Fill out that questionnaire, and you'll be granted a 100% free offer. Sign up with me for a risk-free session at no obligation. I want to get to know you. I want to dream with you about your ideal closet, your ideal life goals. And I want to match your financials to your objectives. And let's work on a winning financial plan together. Come on, Cashinista. Let's get closer to your ideal closet, shall we? A little sneak peek. This is a picture of me in my closet. I have a small closet, like I said. I just moved in with my boyfriend, and everything's organized. I repurposed a bookshelf to put all of my shoes and even my boots, taller boots, into this bookshelf, and they look gorgeous. And I have bins for the appropriate items, and everything's in the right spot on the right hanger. Everything's clean, dry cleaned, and mended, or in the process of getting there. And I have an outfit for every occasion. My wardrobe doesn't lack a single thing. And my finances are the exact same way. And remember, I make mistakes. I also still have fears, but I figured out, like all my clients have also figured out, how to be a cashinista. So what do you have to lose? Please come, complete the form, sign up for the free offer, get a risk-free hour with me, and get started today. Let's talk about how finances can be as easy as fashion. Thank you so much. You are all beautiful women. You deserve to have your dreams realized in this life now and not wait until a later date in time. it's up to us. I want to be there for you. I want to support you through this. We can make this happen. So thanks again. And stay beautiful. Thank you.